At the age of 14, he was given a life sentence. Michael Hernandez, a 7th grader at Palmetto Bay Middle School, fatally stabbed and slashed the throat of a fellow student in a stall. The teenager who murdered his friend by luring him into a bathroom stall, stabbing him 40 times, and then slitting his throat was apprehended soon after the murder. After what can only be described as a convoluted interrogation, he was given a life sentence. Stay with us as we discuss it and his subsequent fate. Hernandez's crime was so heinous that he even used the promise of a demonstration to lure his fellow student, violinist Jamie Goff. It turned out that Hernandez had been researching serial murders online for hours. He'd even written out a hit list of names. One of the victims was Jamie, whom he stabbed multiple times before slitting his neck. He murdered and brought the bloodied knife back to school with him. A school official saw the blood and quickly phoned the police. Hernandez attempted to use insanity as a defense, but the jury wasn't buying it. In 2008, a judge ruled that he was guilty of first-degree murder and gave him a life sentence. Michael Hernandez admitted to a Metro-Dade investigator that he had murdered a classmate by slitting his throat during an interrogation. His tone is uninterested, and he exhibits no signs of nervousness. He answered clinically, explaining how he lit Jamie's way into the stall. Hernandez told Detective Salvatore Garofalo, "I told him that I had to put my palm over his mouth, and I did it. After raising his head, I slashed his throat." Too many potential jurors in Miami said they were familiar with the situation, so the trial was transferred to Orlando. People in the jury room shook their heads and frowned as they listened to the questioning. Hernandez told the detective that after the initial cut across Jamie's neck, which was not fatal, Jamie begged for his life. According to Hernandez, the victim begged him not to be killed. A full statement of mine was that everything would be okay as long as he helped out. During a lull in the interrogation, Hernandez questioned Garofalo about how he came to be a suspect in the police's eyes. "Is it because of the glove you discovered that I've descended to this level?" After Hernandez was stabbed, he asked about a bloody latex glove he had removed. Hernandez, then 18 years old, sat at the defense table and saw the confession on a monitor during the retrial in 2008. As he read the transcript, he shook his leg non-stop in sync with the words. The parents of Jamie, the deceased, were also present. They comforted each other as Hernandez detailed the brutal murder of their son. Shortly after Jamie's death was discovered in 2004, Hernandez was pulled from class and questioned by authorities. Before sending him to the homicide unit of the police department, they questioned him in a school office. Then, Hernandez's parents began to voice their displeasure with the police for removing their kid from school without informing them. The police contacted Manny Hernandez, his father, later that day to inform him of the accusation. The couple claims that the police told them Hernandez witnessed Jamie's killing but that he was not a suspect when they arrived. They were subsequently given a short time with their kid, during which they were told not to interrogate him about what had transpired. Manny pushed his son, Hernandez, to be honest with the authorities and tell them what happened before he knew his son may be charged with murder. But when the interrogation's findings were revealed, Manny was furious that the police had spent so much time questioning his kid. One of his parents should have been permitted to attend, and the cops should have known better. Due to his mental illness, he cannot waive his rights. The court dragged its feet on this allegation for 4 years until he was an adult, and then he was sentenced. Before it, Hernandez's lead attorney, Richard Rosenbaum, had done all in his power, stating arguments, etc., to have the confession thrown out, but to no avail. A few of Hernandez's pals, Jamie Martin and Andre Martin, were the initial targets of his murderous intent. Andre Martin was wary of his intentions to draw them into the stall. The class bell went off while they were in mid-process, and everyone dispersed. Hernandez murdered Goff the following day. Martin got his dream job with the police force in Miami-Dade County. In a resentencing hearing held around February 2016, Hernandez's father pleaded for his son's release, saying Hernandez had changed. According to lead prosecutor Gail Levine, Hernandez hasn't changed much since he was 14. Nothing has changed in him, he is still a serial killer. Martin also testified against him, arguing that the life sentence was an appropriate punishment for his crime. 5 years after his resentence, Hernandez was found dead in jail. According to the Florida Department of Corrections database, Michael Hernandez passed away while incarcerated in Colombia. 4 TV aired footage of Hernandez collapsing, but no official cause of death was given, and no foul play was suspected. Finally, the killer, then 14 years old, was given a life sentence when he turned 18. The incident happened in 2004. We can assume he died in prison in 2021 after spending most of his life behind bars. Did his punishment suit his crime? Share your thoughts in the space below. If you liked this video and want to see more like it, please subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications.